Okay, it's the eve of the CIAC State Championship Open for Connecticut, and we got the boys preview here. Last year, it was Hall. They dominated, 66 points. Greenwich was next up with 30. Then Xavier 29, along with Ridgefield at 29. Stonington had 28. Stonington, the Class S champion, had a couple of top seniors such as Josh Mooney and Ryan Kurzak there. This year, oh boy, it's a very competitive field. The top champions from the four classes are all expected to be in it. That being Hall again, Class LL champion, Xavier, Lyman Hall, my old alma mater, and Bloomfield. And there's a bunch of the second and even third place teams. Windsor finished third in Class L, and they could be the state champions this year. They have some top guys there. Bethel, Danbury, and East Lyme are all among the top teams. If you go straight by the seedings, and there's always an issue with that in a lot of ways, but if you went straight by the seedings, Xavier would be the favorite coming in with 47, Windsor at 37, Bethel at 31, so all Class L teams there. Then Lyman Hall would be the fourth favorite at 30, along with Danbury. And then Hall 26, Bloomfield 26, and East Lyme 24. So how close are the seedings to what usually happens in a meet? Well, fairly close actually, because last year there were eight of the winners were either top seed or shared a top seed, and then there were three that were second seeds and very close, in one case like a 1/100th of a second behind the top seed, and or a third seed. So that left that came to let's see, 12 of the events of the 15. That's three events where I guess you could say unusual things happened for particular reasons. In the 600, Jonathan York was the seventh seed. And he actually won out of Heat 2, beating out a teammate there, Gabriel Sisk, and all. And what was the story there? Well, simply he was in running Class L or Class LL was not very competitive in the 600 last year, and Sisk and York kind of, didn't have to run that hard to get the championship in LL. So York finished up not being in the top flight there, and when you're not in the top flight, not in the top section there, you got to run extra hard if you want to try and get a place. And he ran so hard that, well, he posted the best time there. So that was the story there. The SMR, Sprint Medley Relay, Ridgefield came in as the 10th seed, and they ended up winning. How did that happen? Well, basically a guy named Steve Hergenrother, top cross-country, top distance runner in the state. He was not running in the Class LL championship, but he did run in the Sprint Medley Relay, led them to the win there. So Ridgefield got a big boost in that 800 spot, that runs half of the distance of the Sprint Medley Relay. So that was the story in the Sprint Medley Relay. And then finally there was the shot put. Interesting story there, because Barthaci came in as the 6th seed, and he was about around 4 feet behind the top seed. And all I can say is he improved. A lot of other shot putters that last year just didn't have the greatest days, and actually ended up winning from the sixth seed spot. And interestingly, he's back this year, and but further back in the seedings, I believe he's like ninth this year. Last year he was 4 feet behind the top seed. This year it's more it's over 10 feet, so behind Tom Matlock of East Lyme there. So I it would be much more surprising if he ends up winning this year, but who knows? He could pull it off again. So you can kind of go by the top seedings. We'll go by that through that in a moment. So with Hergenrother possibly being available for both the sprint medley relay and the 4x8, Ridgefield's prospects could well improve and beyond what they did last year. But again, Xavier has the most depth coming in, and they will be the favorite on the teams. As far as the individual events this year, DeAndre Duncan of Harding really excelled in the class meet there. He posted a 6.49, so he finished fifth last year, and so he'll be the favorite this year. Others contending strongly with him: Octavius Richard of Manchester, Luke Richardson of Bethel, Kai Henry of Danbury, and could be really interesting times there. I don't really see either a meet or a state record likely coming out of this this event. It's well down there from Sheldon Thompson's meet record time. The 300, we have Maxim Copeland of Windsor along with teammate Tyshawn Berry at the top. So if Windsor pulls off a first and second in the 300 there, they obviously are looking very good among the teams battling for the title this year. But that is the good chunk of the points they are expected to get this year in the individual events. So they would need to come through big for Windsor there. Gianluca Bianchi was the winner last year. In the 55, Noble Gongan of Simsbury was the winner last year. Others possibly up there in the 300. Jimmy Aragon of Bloomfield was the Class S winner, should be contending. And when you come to Bloomfield, they don't usually have, especially, well, they're strong in the sprints, and they don't really have to contend that hard in Class S. So the girls did incredibly last year. Any of the times that Bloomfield lays down in Class S could be very well be improved hugely at the Open. So Oregon might even be the favorite there. Michael Fisher of Lyman Hall, Class M winner, could also be in there. 600, Thomas Conklin of Lyman Hall has a bit of an edge there. He was the Class M winner. This is the event won by Jonathan York out of the second, not the seeded section last year. And also in there, Cameron Miles of Weston, Jack Mattingly of E.O. Smith. Mattingly was going in the 1,000 last year. This year he's down in the 600. So Yendri Ruiz of New Britain is also a contender there. So another great race to come in. 1,000 So it's hard to go against Sahib Dissa this year of Newtown. He was the winner last year, and I don't know if there's anyone that can um, catch him this year. Kyle Jeffers of Danbury uh, will be trying, and along with Devin Rosemark, Evan, Kian Garrigrady, all in there, but Dissa is a guy that you just think is going to win. 1600, Colby Bornstein, out of the smaller section there, comes in as the favorite this year by quite a bit. He ran a great time, 4:19 in change to win there, and so he could be the favorite there. Jacqueline of Xavier, who finished sixth last year and was the Class L winner, and the guy who trailed behind him, Evan Bureau of Bethel, all in there. Ben Lorenz of Staples, also the Class LL champion. So we'll see who contends in that. Sometimes the guys go to the 3200 instead. So 3200, Sean McCauley of East Lyme laid down by far the best time in Class M, running by himself there. John Larkin, the Class L winner for Xavier, has the second best time. McCauley and Larkin finished 7th and 8th last year. Again, you got Evan Bureau, if he's doubling, would be the third favorite. Colby Bornstein, he got did well in both the 1600 and 3200. Whether he'd be just doing the 1600, I don't know. But he'll be in there. Last year it was Colin Walsh who won. In the 1600 last year was Parker Broderick who won. And he's getting back to 1600. Yeah, he comes in as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the 6th seed, so got the champion back there. And the 55 hurdles, Byron McLean, who of Derby, who finished 5th last year, comes in with the best time. And Joe Nam of Hall is expected to challenge him. Maybe William Gibson of Hill House also being in there, and Daniel Anderson of Naugatuck. So we'll see about that too. Last year it was Josh Mooney setting a meet record there, and also tying the state record at 7.26. So another good battle. The relays 4x2. Windsor has they were the winners last year, and they have the best time by quite a bit this year. So they are decided favorite in the 4x2 ahead of Bloomfield and Danbury and Notre Dame West Haven there. The 4x4, Lyman Hall has a bit of the best time over Windsor, and with Xavier and Trumbull, Weston. Hall will usually this is Hall's event, but it doesn't look like so much this year. 4x8. Ridgefield has the best time, and that was with Steve Hergenrother running the anchor. So they are the favorite, and expecting that he will be running there. So Hall and Danbury and East Lyme are also in there. Over on the sprint medley relay side, Bethel comes in with the best time, followed by closely by Xavier, Simsbury, and Hamden in there. Now, again, Ridgefield was the winner last year in the sprint medley relay. And Hergenrother is listed, so he could be pulled in to run the 800 again, and then that might change things around there. They are well back. I think they're like it's in the double-digit seeds, I believe. So they would have to do it out of the one of the lower flights, like maybe the third flight, but you can't count Ridgefield out in that either. The long jump, Mackay Wade of Capital Prep has a 23.4 coming in, so I guess you could say he's the favorite, except he's only a quarter inch ahead of Oliver Guzzi of Xavier. Micah Blair of Amity is would be the third seed with Isaiah Carter. Last year was Christopher Harrogate of Hamden winning. High jump, Ines Muhammad of Brantford has went 6'4" in the class meets. So a bunch of guys at 6'2", including Aiden Schumacher of Northwestern, Jamari Manson of Bloomfield, and Ethan Rich of Lyman Hall. So another good battle. Pole vault, Liam Wright going 15 feet for Hall in the Class LL meet. Hunter Fidel of Xavier went 14.6 in the Class L meet. So those two will be going at it, the favorites. They finished, Fidel finished second last year. Liam Wright finished third. Fidel finished fifth. Liam Wright was in, he tied with Lucas Williams last year as far as height goes. They were all 14.6, I believe. And Fidel was fifth last year. Matteo Viviano of Ledyard has done 14.0, so he should be in there too. Shot put, well, this is an event that has just exploded this year. As mentioned, Branthaci won it last year as a bit of a surprise. This year he is the 8th seed at 52.9. Top seed is a guy was mentioned a few years ago by Gary Moore, who, when he was trying to set all the records, said there's this freshman who could be challenging for the record in a few years, and he is right now. Thomas Matlock, East Lyme, 63 feet in a quarter he threw at in the Class M meet, I guess it would have been, and he's not too far off either the meet record, which is Gary Moore, 63.11 3/4, or the state record, 64.1 1/4. So he's within about a foot of the champions at this point. He's gone well out in front. Chris Amy of Norwich Free Academy is at 57.10. Tristan Smith is at 55.10 3/4 is the next three there. So, but again, we saw an upset last year, but it would have to be a far bigger upset to change things around. So that is basically the preview for the boys this year, and should be great action tomorrow.